So I think on one level it can be perceived now on a big scheme of things we either see the productivity or we don't see the productivity. But on an individual basis, I think we can get bored. Not only are we creatures of habit, we also get bored. And I think both of boredom and habitual behavior stem from selfishness and laziness. And I like the way Spengler talks about being conscious and being self aware as a state of tension. Um, and I've talked in previous clips, previous journal entries, that I come to realize that there's healthy pain and there's toxic pain. Either way about it, there's pain. If you're going to grow, pain comes with it. But there's healthy pain and toxic pain. The healthy pain I can recover from. So when I'm doing my physical therapy, if I do it in the right form and I don't do too much of it, and that's a work in progress, I never know what is too much until I get there, then I can recover from it relatively easily. However, if I go overboard, I do try to do too many sets of, say my core training for my spine. Um, I can do injury to myself, which can take weeks and weeks and weeks to recover from. And this is a very personal and individual experience. So when I go into the collective experience of, let's say, try to get a job, um, my personal experience has to be set aside for the collective experience and the collective needs. And my pain has required of me to take my personal experience and make it primary, not secondary to the collective social desires and needs and necessities. Um, so, in this state of tension, this self-awareness, self-responsibility, self-accountability, it creates tension in the consciousness. But as we know, every night we go to bed and we're relieved of that tension. With unconsciousness, sleeping. And I think that there is a level of unconsciousness that arises in development where we just sort of start doing habitual behavior, our habits. And it's no longer a state of tension that is conscious. And so we wouldn't knowingly want to destroy our own civilization because of our own inner strife, our own inner conflicts. We wouldn't knowingly want to do that. However, it happens unknowingly, unconsciously. And it's usually because the participants are overdoing it. They're doing more than their share. And so you go through this cycle, this ebb and this flow. But what I've been working on is developing myself into a high form of condition where I can maintain my level of tension, which basically amounts to what I'm comfortable, what I feel is thriving and vital in my own self-awareness and self-consciousness. Um, and it has to be understood that mania is all around us. People who are maniacal and they just throw themselves into different situations, throw themselves over and over and over and over into stressful situations. And it's not balanced meditation in a state of tension and consciousness and self-awareness. It's just, I'm bored with this. I'm going to throw myself into here. I got to throw myself into here. I don't have enough. I got to throw myself. Throw. So it's a continual conflict and time of troubles, one after another, and there's no universal, single, cohesive vision. It's just whatever comes up next is the thing that stimulates them. And in that stimulus, that stimulated state, they think, because they're aroused, that they're aware of what's going on, but actually they have succumbed to these overpowering urges, these overpowering necessities and requirements. And it's not self-awareness at all. It's very much an unconscious thing. They talk of the instincts that you see these athletic shows, these TV shows about athletics. These talking heads that talk about it all the time. They talk about these athletes that are in the zone. They're not fully conscious. They have just thrust themselves into a required necessity, and their body takes over. Their nature, it's a retreat into nature. But they're not fully conscious. And you look at their personal lives, and they either have somebody completely running the show. They have all these attorneys and assistants and informants, or managers of this and that and the other part of their life. They can't take care of their lives at all. They need all these other people to do all these other things for them, so that they can do their one thing. And it's a complete state of unconsciousness. It's not a moderate state of tension in where you're fully accountable, responsible, and aware of what you're doing. And staying within that zone. You see, there are limitations there.